CNN Money reports that people coming out of college accumulate an average debt of around $30,000. With rent, food, and other daily expenses, money can be a serious stressor in many young adults' lives. Financial advisor Roger Hodenfield works with first-time savers to help relieve this financial burden. Thanks for being with us today, Roger.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
First question for you is, what age is the most difficult to manage money and why?
I'd say probably in the 20s. At that time, just getting out of college. A lot of times you haven't had much money for a while, and all of a sudden you maybe have a good income coming in. But there's a lot of expenses that you have, and it's quite often get caught up in just spending money and not starting to do some saving, which should be starting to do that right away, and building up some cash reserves too.
So 20 years ago, it was common for parents to pay their their children's college expenses. Now there are more debt coming out of college. Why do you think it's so different now? Why is that?
College has gotten so expensive, so it's very difficult to just pay for that on your own. So a lot of times they have to build up that debt, and getting out of college, it's a big expense to pay that back.
What is the biggest mistake that young adults make with their money?
I think just starting to spend too much when they get out of college. A lot of times, like I mentioned earlier, is having that good cash flow coming in that you didn't have when you were in college, and thinking that they can be spending more money than they actually have.
Okay, so speaking of that, I know that credit cards can be an issue sometimes, but how can they help you?
It can really help to establish your credit rating. So as long as you use credit cards smartly, to use those, but to pay off your expense each month. So not to be spending more than what you have on those is something I'd really recommend.
And what's the first step that you take with young people that you advise personally?
I like to see them start out with a budget to really see what expenses that they know that they're going to have. You're going to have that rent, you're going to have the food, have to pay the light bill, all those different things. To really establish what expenses that you will have, and then take a look at what you have left over for extra dollars. And of course, getting out of college, you want to have some fun too, so it's using some of that money for some discretionary. But I really encourage them to pay themselves first, because you need to be having that as a bill as well, but really to figure out what you have available that you can use.
I know that most people know that an emergency fund is important. What would you say is a good amount to have in that emergency fund?
Kind of a rule of thumb is to have like 3 to 6 months expenses in a cash reserve, but for just getting out of college, it's maybe a little bit on the high side to have that amount. So to start, at least putting some dollars away, if you can build that up to $1,000 and get it up to $3,000 to $5,000, that you just have set aside for money that, get it out of the checking account so it's not so tempting to use, and just have it available if something should happen where you need to use that money.
Okay, so after you start a plan with someone, how do you make sure that they stay on that track and continue the saving plan?
I do meet with them periodically, so it depends on the situation, how often we want to get together. But it is where we do track their goals and encourage them to be saving. And once they do start saving, a lot of times it's where they get accustomed to that. And when they get a raise, it's where, oh, I should be starting to save a little bit more. And if they don't start saving, it's easier just to start spending more money.
What sort of goals do you help young people to set for themselves?
One is to that emergency fund that we talked about, just building up some cash reserves. But quite often people don't want to be having to spend that money for an apartment, so it's just money that you're spending all the time. Most would like to get into a house someday, so it's to start putting some dollars away in some type of an account that you could have access to build a house. And once you get that first job too, there may be some matching in a retirement plan, and retirement is a long ways away. But if we can start putting some dollars away into something, if there's some matching in that program, that the company is putting money into that account for you as well. I don't want to leave that money on the table. So
in the future, after students have cleared out their debt and are in a good stable amount with their money, should saving plans change after that?
It kind of depends on the goals that they have, what they want to accomplish. But once they have those debts taken care of, well, then it gives them an opportunity to start saving, some extra dollars is what they can do. Or it may be to start working, a little harder on their credit rating too. So, it's the bills that they have, make sure that they're being paid off systematically every month. Don't miss a payment on there. And if it is where, gee, I need to buy a different vehicle, well, maybe have to borrow a little bit of money for that. But to make sure that you're not spending more than what you can afford, to make sure that you're spending enough, saving enough on there to help that credit rating.
Okay, so lastly, what is some broad advice you have for students who are overwhelmed with debt right now?
Start out with that budget to really see where your money is going, and then figure out which debts that you have, and it may be starting small to get rid of some of those. If you have some that, oh, I don't owe very much on it, to knock some of those off so you can feel successful that you're paying off some debt.
Great. Well, thank you for coming in with us
You bet.
today.
Thank you.